Come on, start. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
It stopped. Okay, there we go. All righty then. Welcome back to What's News. What's News? This is What's News. I'm Jason with my host, Rhett Raffner. I hope I'm saying your last name right.
Rev
um,
Resner.
Listener. Okay. All right.
Yep.
So this is a very special. You saw this coming. You knew we was going to talk about this. And before I go anywhere else, let me just put this. There we go. Now I'm better. Before we go on to anything else, I just wanted to first personally congratulate those who went out and did their civic duty of voting. I think that is very important. Um,
Mhm.
I know it didn't help matters in terms of my work because I had to miss work because New York went out to vote and it was crowded. I had to spend 2.5 hours on the line, so I knew by the time I got out, it would be too late. But it was a good thing. That's good. That means people took it seriously.
Mhm.
Didn't take it seriously for those who, and I understand from some point of view because the people did talk to me about this. They didn't know who to decide. They didn't know who to want to vote for, so they didn't vote
Mhm.
for either one of them. I, I'll leave it as that. But for those who want to rub it in my face, saying when it was election day, and basically laugh at it and take it seriously, shame on you. And I don't want to hear you complain about anything that goes right or wrong in the White House these next 4 years
Exactly.
because you did make a difference. That's just my
Mhm.
opinion, right? Too many people have lost their lives and sacrificed a lot of things for us to have this right. Not every country have the privilege of voting, and that's one. And to keep that in mind, these are countries that are ruled by very dangerous men. All right, so
Mhm.
keep that in mind. We don't. I know it ain't a perfect system, but it's something, and it's damn sure better than nothing at all. All right, so keep that in
Exactly.
mind how important voting is. With that being said,
Mhm.
I'll start with this. Okay, I don't know how your emotion is. I'm not mad. People expect me to be angry, upset, going crazy. No, I'm not mad at all. Because, as you
Mhm.
already know, I said, what I said, this is not a guarantee that Hillary Clinton was going to win this.
Correct.
Did we not say this?
That's correct. Nobody
Okay,
knows
then.
for sure.
Nobody know for sure. I don't care what the poll. There's 1,900 polls that can say one thing. The one that matters, the one that people goes on the voting booth.
Right.
And you repeat yourself because I remember my grandmother said that nobody took Ronald Reagan seriously because he was an actor and what did he know about
Mhm.
politics and all this and that, and yet he was president. He served 2 terms. The same thing with Donald
Correct.
Trump. Donald Trump was announced. I heard it from Wendy Williams, and he said he's not going to win. He's going to bring his talking viewpoints and everything else, but he's not going to win. Well, you know what? I think people underestimate what the media covers, and most people don't underestimate emotions versus fear versus people who feels that their jobs are being taken away from them for whatever reason. They seem to forget these important elements. And once he started knocking out each candidate one by one, that should have been a red flag saying, okay, this guy is for real. This guy is serious,
Yeah.
and we should take it seriously. So the fact when I found it, because I stood up all night that night to at least 3 in the morning, which I normally
Mhm.
go to sleep at 3 o'clock anyway. That's not new to me. So I stood there at 3 in the morning, and I have not heard no sign. I mean, people were celebrating. The Democrats in the Gabbard Center was like on a high party
Mhm.
until those states started coming in, and
Yeah.
that's when you sort of realize, okay, we're going to be in it for a long night, and it doesn't look like Hillary is actually winning. And I think that's when around 10 o'clock when people realize, oh, something went horribly wrong. Yeah, it's called people went out and vote, and they didn't vote the way you expected them to vote. Okay, and that's
Exactly.
what happened. All right. The
Mhm.
moment I didn't hear, because here's the thing, I felt like this. Once 9 o'clock hits, you already have an idea of what's going to happen. We didn't get
Right.
that idea yet.
No.
Once
No.
those once those swing states started coming in, I said, yeah, she lost Florida and she lost another thing in Idaho. She lost those 2 swing states. She's in
Mhm.
trouble,
Yeah.
right? And she wasn't winning none of these South states. None of them voted for her. And I said, okay, the only way she's going to win now, pretty much, is getting the swing states. How many swing states she got?
Didn't you get like two of them?
None,
Didn't get any of them? Jesus.
none.
I
And the
I
one
was
that really,
surprised that my state uh didn't win. I mean, I was really surprised. Uh, here in Florida, that we went mostly Trump. I was surprised. I mean, but then again, I started getting a bad feeling about something I saw on election day, which I can get to a little bit later. That was very scary. But at one of the polling locations. But I didn't really get that. You know, I don't know about any of your polling locations, but we didn't have any of those people that Trump was saying we're going to stand around and supervise and the polling to make sure everybody's honest. None of them showed up. I asked a few of the voting people. She's like, yeah, we heard that they were supposed to be here, but none of them showed up. And I took a friend to vote, and I asked at their locations, and it was in a more southern part of the county, a little more redneckish, and none of them were there either. And I asked, and they said, yeah, they didn't show up there either. And there were no Trump people out there with signs. There were some Hillary people. None of the three places I went to, there weren't any Trump people out there, that were part of the move, part of his campaign that were out there with signs. And there were not a bunch of Trump signs either, and there weren't a bunch of Hillary signs out. Somebody did drive a truck through one of his big signs out here, but because he has some pretty large, 7-8 foot, diagonal signs out on the sides of the roads, and I don't agree with this. I don't think this was right. I mean, it doesn't mean I don't support Trump or anything, but somebody took their truck and they drove through all of them, all the way down A1A, and on election day, and I thought it was funny at first, and I was like, well, it's still not right. He has the right to put his signs up and all that. It's part of this country.
Well, we're going to talk about that because there's a lot of so much wrong that went on the DEM side that we have to discuss, because let's be realistic here. We can sit there and say, this was run by racism or what. I'm not buying that. There's a whole lot more to this. But let's just call it like it is. The people who have to blame, if you're going to blame anybody, the Democrats have to look at themselves.
Yep.
I'm sorry. All right. Say what you want. Say how he ran his campaign. He was least consistent. Whereas to where the Democrats is, let's be real. It starts where she got the nominee. She got the nominee. No one felt that Bernie Sanders should have been the one that should have took on Trump. Many people believe he would have beaten Trump. I don't know. I'm not saying he would have wouldn't, but the moment it was revealed that it was something shady about how she got it, that's when people started to really put the red flag, and that gave the ammo that Trump needed to say trigger Hillary. Let's be realistic here. They expected to win this.
Absolutely.
Can we say it right now? They expected, they want to win this. And that's the thing that killed me about the whole thing. Right from the very beginning, they thought there was going to be a breeze, a cakewalk, and they continued to underestimate people's sense of who they want, what the emotion is, what the feeling is, what the overall people, and how to actually reach out to the people who don't even trust you. And that was the big factor. We know what Trump is all about. All right? We know how much of an idiot he can be. But you know what? We also look at Hillary's record, and you know what? People are just saying, I don't trust her either. And let's be realistic. People just tired of politics, period. They really are sick and tired of the politicians not doing what they're supposed to do. And now we have a situation. Now it led us to here with Trump. And look, I don't know what he's going to do in 4 years. People are scared to death. People are scared. I don't even know why they should be fearful. Look, we don't know what's going to happen in 4 years. Relax. Calm down. I don't need to go onto Twitter and see a bunch of racist tweets against white America. That's not going to solve anything, okay? That's ridiculous. Want that fear and anxiety, because I tell you right now, I call my uncle. My uncle was upset. He's upset with the Democrats. He's upset with the fact that Donald Trump is. He's just mad. I'm like, why are you mad? All right, it happened. We should expect it happen. It's going to happen. It's done. Now we got to ask that question: what policies Donald Trump is going to bring? For what we know, and I said there's a lot of people who I've spoken, both Spanish, African American, even white. We don't know what we're going to get from Trump. We don't know that this whole time over the stage and he's going to do 185 on us and do something totally different. We just don't know. What I do know is he's going to have a hard time coming in the White House. I don't care if it's run by the Democrat, by the Republican Party. I don't really. That's irrelevant to me. The point is, he's gonna have a fight, all right, and he's gonna have to deliver on at least 1/3 of his promise. If not, then all the people are gonna see right through what he was doing all this time. He don't really know what the hell he's doing or know how the White House run. So in many ways, don't get mad, all right. He's gonna find out that one man don't make this country.
Right. Yeah.
To me, getting upset. I don't know how Josh can. Well, I never spoken to her about this, and I try not to talk politics with her because that's not her forte. But to me, it's just I don't want. Look, I can go out here and get upset, get cursed out the world. I know Rachel Maddow was choked up because not Trump, but the vice president. I know he has something on his sleeve in terms of some of the bills he passed. But to me, we gotta look at the reality here. Is that I'm looking at it from my point of view. I'm gonna hear your point of view. I'm gonna give you my point of view. This is the 8 years that I've seen the Democrats run and control the party. One, every time when it looks like they're about to put something, on the back burner, put something right there that people will go for, they compromise too much. People get tired of the compromise. Every time when it feels like they're actually for the people, they do something that's against the people's interests. I take it for instance, that major cut that cut millions of dollars in health aid and food stamps and God knows what other programs, and then say we did a good job with the budget under the expense of people or other people. So those people feel they've been ripped off. The fact of the job market, and I'm gonna say this is one of Obama's strong points because I think that he did balance the job market more better than I think everybody can credit for. But 13,000 jobs isn't enough for 50 states. Not all the jobs are calling 50 states. So you still have those states that are having very, very poor job turnouts in terms of job growth. And let's be honest, even though the unemployment has been steady, it's not great either, and it very varies from region out. African Americans still have a hard time getting jobs, as well as those living in poor urban areas. These make a difference, regardless of what you may feel. So you add all that up. Plus, the fact is that a lot of places that are run by democratically run hasn't been affordable to live, like New York. This is not a Republican city. This is a Democratic city, and it's the most expensive city to run. Did the Democrats do anything to lower the cost of living here? No. All right. In fact, it gotten worse. All that adds up. All right. All that adds up, and people are just tired of. You say you're gonna do this, but then again, when it comes push come to shove, you fold your hands over, not do anything. And this is what Trump had meant when he said that when it comes time to actually do something, you don't do anything until election comes, and you want to make all the powwow saying we're for the people. Well, you know what? You show how you're for the people when you actually do something that represents you're for the people.
Correct.
And that's why the Democrats have lost. The Democrats have themselves to blame. Okay, they don't fight hard enough for the stuff they want. And when it comes time to do something, they either cave into the Republican Party, and the Republican Party muscles and bully their way in some of the areas, and they also have a way of not cooperating with the Democrats. But the Democrats doesn't do a good job of fighting for it and reminding people that this is why it's so important. And when things doesn't work their way, they seem to back off instead of supporting the other like they're supposed to. Say what you want about the Republicans. I'm not happy how the state they are, and I don't think they are unified as many people want to believe. But at least one thing you cannot deny: they're organized and they know how to get their agenda across. And that is something the Democrats have to do better if they ever want to be taken serious as a legitimate party in this country. They're not taken serious as a legitimate party. They consider the poor man's party.
Yeah.
In many ways. I said my piece. Go ahead, Rev. You have the floor.
So, what I felt with a lot of, the Republicans and the Democrats is, Republicans controlled Congress, right? And Democrats are, I'm sorry. No, I'm right. Sorry. The Democrats had the White House for the last 8 years. And I think that hurt a lot of anything the Democrats want to do. I know that hurts just anything a Democrat wants to do, especially with our current Congress. Well, not just our current one, but maybe the last 10 years. it seems like Congress is in a pissing war where they don't really give a crap about the people. They really just give a crap about their party, which is, okay, whoever owns Congress is going to shoot down anything the president really wants to put out there that'll make him look good or bad. Or maybe not bad. If it's like bad, they'd probably let it go through. But if it's something that makes them look good or even seems to help people, they shoot it down. But then if the Republicans propose something, the Democrats just shoot it down. They don't really seem to care what it is they're even fighting over. They just want to say no to each other. And even with that, there's very few things that they even bring up anymore. I don't really know what Congress has done in the last 10 years. Elston named some park benches and, approve stupid holidays and take a shitload of days off and still get paid while everybody else gets put on furlough. I just don't understand how that bullshit works. And it's not just with Obama's presidency. It was with Bush. He had to deal with the same shit. They may have gone along a little bit better, but it definitely started going wrong around his presidency. But I don't know. I really don't know how most of these people got reelected either. Also, the fact that most people that went out to vote only really considered the president when they went to vote. That's all they really cared about. So when they look at the ballot, like our ballot just says, would you like to reelect so-and-so? Okay. You don't know who they are. You don't know anything about them, most people, They don't know, they see their congressperson, they're like, oh, this name sounds familiar. It's because it's the guy that's been in there for the last 4 years. They just don't pay attention. And another thing about this election, I'll tell you why, and this pisses me the fuck off. Okay? Why do people write in stupid names? I know so many people who did that. Do you know any people that did that?
I wasn't paying attention to anybody else on my own. I know there's a write-in ballot. I don't do write-in ballots.
Right.
So
there's always a write-in.
If you're not running, your name should be on there. If you're not name on there, I'm not writing you down because obviously you didn't want to run. So what's the point of doing that? I never understood that part. I don't pay attention to that.
I know a lot of people who wrote in dead people. Some of the, when the election first started, or not the election, but the pre-election, what do you call it? When they're running the
early ballots.
Yeah. Well, just when everybody's trying to figure out who's going to be their party member, I'm drawing a blank here, but there were these nuts and stuff like that, and
oh God.
And then there's
I remember that.
There's a bunch of redneck guys that are out there. I mean, there's just so many people wrote those in, and there were hundreds of thousands of them. I mean, not just in I'm talking about nationwide. Those votes really made a difference. If you think about hundreds of thousands of votes, and you look at how closely they lost, we're talking about 1 or 2% was the difference in the votes, for Hillary or Trump, and overall, hundreds of thousands of votes would have made a big fucking difference. It doesn't sound like a lot, when you think about how many people there are, but they're combined with the people that are just so stupid who didn't vote, that could have voted. I understand some people just can't vote. That you just can't make it out there. That sucks. I understand. But people who just sat around, got stoned all day, or played video games all day, or just playing, I forgot it was election day. I don't believe that you forgot it was election day.
No, you didn't care. And you know what?
Facebook told you every 10 minutes that there was election day. The news, the radio, everything. Even like Pandora, I believe, reminded you to go out and vote. I mean, everything. I mean, Google. I woke up and Google's like, "Go vote, go vote. Come on." My phone's like, "Go vote. Get off your ass. I know you're still sitting at home. Get up, get up." got a doctor's appointment, go vote. So, I was shit. I was out of the house at like 7 a.m. You know, early. I couldn't sleep. I was ready to go vote. And then a friend of mine who is also disabled, she was unable to get to the vote, and she asked if I'd drive all the way down there to take her to vote, and I said sure, absolutely, definitely the vote. But I don't buy it to people who are like, oh, I just forgot. No, you didn't just fucking forget. You just didn't want to get out of your house or get off your ass and do your job. And, that pisses me off. And, let's see. God, there's so many damn things I want to yell about. Not yell about, but bring up and, talk about.
Well, here's the thing. How are you feeling? Because you got a good 72 hours to digest all this. How are you feeling?
I'm annoyed.
I wasn't happy. Because you forgot even to text me. I said, you must be really mad because he didn't even text me, tell me what's going on.
I watched the election, and I almost texted you, honestly, twice. I was like, and I remember it was so close, the percentage, that I saw Hillary's, was it Hillary's people, they told him to go home, or Trump's people, they told him to go home?
It was Trump.
Trump people, yeah, okay. They told him to go home, that it was going to be a long night, and I think I was up for another 25, 30 minutes, and then I dozed off for a minute, or for a few minutes, and when I came to a loud sound on the TV, and it was showing Trump is the new elected president, and I'm like, and my phone is just getting text after text from Jessica's, and I'm like, what the fuck happened while I was asleep? How long was I asleep for? Please tell me this isn't a re-election. I was shocked. I was shocked the entire time, to be honest. I mean, just from the get-go, when they started counting in the states, and Trump was winning by a little bit, and I was like, okay, well, these are just small states, okay, yeah, that's okay. And then it just kept going wrong, and then back, okay, wrong, okay. And then that's when the big states came in, and I'm like, oh, shit. My state was one of the last ones to get called, I know. In Florida, we can't do anything voting, correct? But there were...
Here's the funny thing about it. A lot of people saying this, and it's kind of funny, because this is going to be an issue that everybody's going to be talking about, at least from the early votes cast. People are saying they had early votes a week in advance. How is this too close to call when they started counting at that moment?
I was wondering about that, and I don't think they count those early votes until the same time they count the regular votes.
Make it seem pointless, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I think it's supposed to reduce the lines or whatever, but it sounds like in your state you still had huge lines. I know the last couple days for early voting out here, the lines were actually would go. Keep in mind, I live on beach side, so it sounds stupid. So there's a beach park where early voting was in my area, and the line went all the way down this new beach park parking lot, down A1A, and into another beach park, and into its parking lot, and that was the line. Now, this is why that's why I didn't early vote. Okay, I was like, oh God, that's just too much. I can't stand that long with my back and everything. So I go to vote regularly. There's no line at all. So early voting turned out to be sucky in my state, or at least in my area and my county, at least, because our county was one of the first ones to show up. Of our votes coming from the first three, and I didn't wait in any line at all. I walked in, showed my ID, signed the little, there's a little thing computer thing you have to sign, and then they send you to another table to get your ballot, and you sign something else, and then you stand in. My voting location has got some of the most rickety, crappy voting little booth things, and then, which is a complete contrast to my friend when I took her to hers. Not only did they have handicap accessible ones that had, theirs were sturdy. They were made out of like metal pipe, like red metal pipe, and sturdy tables, you know, and there were chairs and all that, because each one had like 2 handicap seats and 2 regular seats that were up above, big barriers between them. I was really jealous, and there was no line at hers either. I think we stood in line for, I take that back, where you signed in originally, I think I had count to like 70 seconds, and that was it. So, and everybody was polite. Nobody was, you know, at this point, nobody is, you know, going, yay Hillary, yay Trump, go Trump, or whatever, some chant or something. Now, here's where things got a little weird, though. After I took her home, and I drove all the way back to around here, I stopped at the bottom of one of the causeways that connects to the barrier island, and there's a little park down there, and I wanted to sit out there and enjoy the nice weather. Well, there was a voting location there, a decent-sized one. It didn't really have a line, but at this point, it's getting later into the evening, so everybody's off work, and construction workers, you know, lower-paid people, let's say, are getting off work. Okay, I'm noticing that when people are getting out of the car, they're drinking beer before they vote, like a 6-pack. And then they go in and they vote, and they come back out, and this is where I saw something that really made me worry about how things were going to turn out. There is a large group of, say, redneckish people, and they are talking Trump this, Trump that. Okay, and I'm like, okay, that's a little scary. I mean, they were getting loud, and they're getting a little aggravated and pissy, and throwing beer cans and bottles, you know. And this young guy got out of his car, and he is light brown skin. And one of them came up to him and started yelling at him, "Go back to wherever you came from, you sand N-word." And a bunch of people in the park are like, "Oh shit!" And he just said, "Sir, I'm Milano," and he just looked at him very confused. Said, "Well, go back to wherever that is," and threw his beer at him. And nobody did anything. They didn't get thrown out. There's no police there. There's no police at our polling locations. And at this point, the crowd is getting really big, and now they're chanting Trump, 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 and yelling other various racial slurs that I'm hearing mixed in with other hateful things. And I'm like, shit, this is a little scary. So,
and all of the people who are here in this, they say this, all of the same people who probably live in poor areas and areas where, one, they believe that Trump is going to save their race from being overtaken by people outside of their country. I don't really care about what they are. So my mind is, I say like this: you go start at me, I got every right to beat you down. That's all I want to do it. So we'll see how much your white supremacy will handle beat down after that. But you know what? I'm not gonna throw them. That's just a small lump sum. I'm not gonna do that. Unlike what like the Young Turks did. I thought Young Turks were a little bit out of line because they said that Trump got in through the racist people of this country. No, not really. Because I know people who wasn't, who are African American, Hispanic, even Japanese who voted for him. So you can't lump one person in that whole circle. But this is the thing that why start learning from lessons past, that this type of hatred, this type of bigotry only sets us back. It doesn't move us forward. All right,
No.
and I think people seem to forget that you know what you want to blame Obama for a lot of things. When are we going to start looking down at our Congress and say, hey, yo, what are you guys doing? You know, you guys ain't
Yeah.
making no progress. How come we don't look at our local government, since everybody wants to say state rights every time? How come we don't get the local government and say, yo, why are we not bringing no jobs in this country? Why is no jobs in this state? You're telling me that Obama is responsible for all 50 states to do their part? No. We got to start looking at it. And here the thing is, all right, if you look, nobody should live in property. I don't care what color you are, all right? But the idea of you living in property because of the other man, because of the other person who don't have the same skin color as you, it's ridiculous, all right? First of all, get educated about the stuff that's going on. Know that the fact is that if there are immigrants coming here, which they are, they're not getting hired legally, okay? All right, the employers, keyword employers hires them, and they hire them because it's cheaper for them than to hire to do it the honest, respectful way. So people need to start understanding that. But here's the thing: is we allow our emotions and these other politicians to store us up because it's easier for them to point fingers at somebody else instead of their own fault. All right. And that's the thing that really kills me about that. So as far as that redneck is on, if they would have, man, I wish they would have been Florida and tried that with me. Oh yeah, okay. See how far you go with that. I don't care how many people you got in there. That's the one time I say I'll stand my ground. You ain't gonna like how I do it, dude. So, but with that being said, there is one thing I got to criticize the media for. And I don't know if this is actually in your media though, because we're gonna break down a little bit of everything here. I found it very interesting and very angry at the same time that the media had brought up this statistic. Wins, they were saying, okay, it was doing the voting situation. They saying those who are coming up for Trump were non-educated white men. Now, I'm gonna be very straight up. I was listening to that, and I'm raising my eyebrow. I said, "What exactly do you mean by that? A non-educated white men, as in nobody who's going to college? Or are you saying that those who are not educated in terms of what did that mean? Because that's a broad statement, and to me, if I'm a white guy, I'd be kind of offended."
Yeah, I heard that quite a bit, and you know, Trump was said it quite a bit too. By the way, you know, it wasn't just the media, but after the media said it, and I remember him saying it on just 24 hours before the election. You know, that God bless the uneducated people of this world, in interviews saying. He's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with grabbing the uneducated vote. And I was like, oh, that's really fucked up. You know, and I mean, I've heard him say it through multiple times after the media first started saying it. He brought that up. He was happy that he had the uneducated vote. And I thought that to be odd. I would not try to say that my followers are idiots. You know, that's pretty stupid.
No,
but
there are some people say that there are people say that what they meant by those who don't have college education and cannot get to like the tech jobs and that's because most of the jobs now that are being developed are tech jobs and jobs that requires computer skill or some kind of college degree.
Right.
But okay,
there's still plenty of other jobs out there. Yeah,
but to say it like that, it did raise my eyebrow. I said, really? That's kind of a strange way of saying, but I tell you, to me, this is nothing. Too many statistics when it comes to these votes. Could you just say people voted and people voted for one side and the other side? Why do we have to break it down in statistics? It makes it sound like it really brings a wrong message a little bit, and that was one of the crazy. I'm black, so, but to me, if I'm white, I'd be kind of like, yo, what are you trying to say?
Yeah,
because I don't got a college degree that I'm not smart.
Right. I went to college. I went to college. Technically, I guess I didn't graduate college, but what I took, you didn't get a diploma in. But it was UCF, and it was automotive. I mean, originally I went in for what do you call it, a AA or something like that. And I went to graphic design, which I did that for a while, and I didn't like that after working in it. And it's not the best career field, honestly. But I went into automotive, and I finished all that. But I had a wide range of education. You know, I don't think I'm uneducated. And, you know, funny enough that automotive has become kind of a tech-savvy job, which is the reason why I accelerated in it. I mean, there's still obviously a lot of old-fashioned stuff, but the reason I made a lot of money in it before being hurt is the technology. A lot of people just could not keep up with it. So young people came in and took the jobs. But, you know, you had to go to school for it. You still have to go to school to be decent auto technician today, to be a technician, not a mechanic. And, you know, I agree with a lot of people that I went to school with who did not finish, didn't have any kind of other education, and they couldn't keep up with the technology as well. And that's really where you lost all of them, was technology and networking and all that. So it's just kind of funny when people don't realize that most mechanics, or technicians, I should say, at your dealerships, probably have a higher education than you believe. They're not just a bunch of dumb rednecks or something that, you know.
No, they're not.
I mean,
but it is very interesting how many people believe that the assumption that college-educated people actually voted for Hillary Clinton and the non-college education people voted for Trump. I'm not buying that statistic.
No.
You know, people might say people said that Hillary Clinton was going to win, and for all month long, and that didn't happen. So there you go.
Yeah.
But it does bring up the question is, but what I think they shouldn't. I think it shouldn't. But should people actually trust the polls anymore? Because let's be honest, there's so many of them. To say that each one of them is accurate is just now an afterthought.
Yeah, well, I don't think that the polls should be untrusted. I mean, I think they're honest. I don't really have a problem with that. You know, I mean, that one Trump supporter lady who tried to prove that the elections are rigged. Sorry, there's a thing on the side of my screen about Trump, and that was the word that came up. Where he said that people were voting, you know, the mail-in ballot and going in and voting at the same time. I guess in my state you couldn't do that, by the way. You know, Jashkin's had the early ballot, you know, that she could have mailed in. But if you didn't mail it in and you requested and you didn't mail it in, when you went into the ballot place, they didn't have another ballot for you. They would have to make another ballot and cancel out the other one. So my state at least seemed to have that under control. But I guess in whatever state this was, she voted the mail-in one, whatever. And then she decided to go and try to early vote. And she was caught immediately. As soon as she signed her name, whatever it is, a system was in her state. As soon as it went into the computer that she tried to vote a second time, she was arrested. So I feel confident that that's not an issue. I don't think, you know,
it was never voter fraud. To begin with.
Yeah, voter fraud is such a small percentage that even if it quadrupled, it would be less than a whole % of the vote. I mean, it would be really, really, really less than the 1% of the vote. It makes no difference at all. And I don't think thousands of dead people are voting or anything. Sure, somebody probably mailed in somebody's ballot, you know, but I don't really see it being an issue. I trust the vote. No, the biggest thing that I have heard gripes from people is the Electoral College. And I get it. It can be a bit confusing, but it's there for a reason.
It's the oldest system. I forgot what year they implemented the popular vote. I forgot what presidency run they did it on. But the reason why the college is still run is that you can't. They have the delegates for it. They have those delegates for a reason.
Yeah.
That's been since George Washington days. When George Washington was the first president, he wanted all the all the electoral vote that it was necessary. He's the only one that ever done that. But that system is there. One, they can't count 4 billion people and say 4 billion people got voted for this and 4 billion people got that. So whoever wins that state, instead of the saying 4 billion that and that versus that, they say, okay, they won this many electoral votes. So basically, what it was, I think it was 270 to win the president nominee 270. Now, if it was a tie, and then it has happened, it goes to the House of Representatives, and that's when you should be worried about.
Yeah, because
that's
it's usually controlled by one side or another. So that's never a no-brainer on who's going to win when that happens. But it's also set so no one state can severely overpower another state. So if you have a small state and you have a larger state, a small state would feel like it doesn't really matter, which still at some point no matter what, a bigger state is going to have more of an effect. There's just more people there, but it has to have some kind of balance. Now, somebody said, well, we need to update it. We need to give more to each state. I was like, well, how would that make a difference, really? You're still going to get the same. Yeah, it's still going to be the same result. So,
like I said, if, like, say for one state has 15 electoral votes on the line versus one state that has like 5 on the line, nothing. Even though, like, say if Trump won by like a landslide in one state, he's still going to get only a certain amount of electoral votes. That's that's how it is. That's the reason. You cannot. The only reason why the popular vote is there is because, number one, it gives an idea where the people are feeling at that particular moment. You can lose the popular vote, but that's just a popular. It's a popularity poll. That's what it is. That's why it's called a popular vote. It doesn't mean anything. The electoral college is where it is because those are the votes they're going after. It's the same thing with the primaries. They're going after. They're going to each state to get delegates. All right. That's basically it is. That's what they're trying to get there. There's so many delegates here. There's so many delegates there. They got Super Tuesday. That's the reason that exists is to that way. It won't feel like, okay, we need 54 million more people. Come on, that don't make no sense. First of all, not every people in each state is going to vote that day, and then probably some of them don't even vote during the primaries.
Exactly.
So to avoid all that mess, they have that kind of body right there. Okay, if you win this state, you got this many delegates. You still need these much delegates to go, but at least it's not a perfect system, but at least it's something where it avoids that kind of chaos. They will never. I know they bring this up. They bring it up countless of times, but they will never judge the election of the United States of America based on a popular vote. It's unstable. It will not be positive. It just can't. It's nothing more than just a popularity scale to show where the people is feeling at the time.
Yeah.
And just for the record, it didn't look like Hillary Clinton was winning the popular vote when I first saw it. Now, she may have won it by a mere margin, but it wasn't like people was actually. She wasn't like she got an overwhelming majority of popular votes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's pretty stupid. People's arguments about it. I try to explain to them how it works, and I just get really weird stares back. I'm like, do you not know how this works? I mean, how long have you been in this country? You're 40 years old? That's because they're not aware. See, I found this out because I was kind of wondering when I was started, I was still young getting into the group when this guy lost. I can't get his name now for some reason. The vice president for Bill Clinton. What's his name? Gore? Gore?
Yeah, Al Gore, when he won the popular vote but lost the electoral college. And I was kind of wondering, how do you lose the popular vote? That don't make no sense to me. And I didn't realize there was actually 2 voting stats. And I actually had to look it up. And it explained it. I had to go all the way back. And by the way, it explains it a lot better. If you go to YouTube or go look at PBS, they have a history of each president, and it explains why they made the popular vote. And it goes into detail further if you look at the history at the History Channel. They also explain it as well as a book on our American Constitution, which some people don't like to read, but they should.
I'm one of those people. Oh, I don't like reading. Yeah, I I
It's
read some things, but I fucking fall asleep like 5 minutes into anything.
I'm I'm pretty sure it's the eighth or ninth president they started doing it. I may be wrong. I got to go back and look at it, but they did that because one, this country was growing.
Hmm.
All right. All right. But keep in mind, they didn't have a popular vote because there was only 13 states.
Yeah.
Ain't that hard to do?
Yeah.
But you have other states that was broken up into other states that was broken up into territories to became other states. Guess what? That's a lot of people that's going to be voting, and they're going to see.
Exactly.
And just for the measurement, it gives the person who's running a feel of what their how their performance is. So if a president wins the electoral college but didn't win the popular vote, he realized, okay, I may have won, the presidency, but I'm not very popular with the people. I need to convince them that I am the right man for the job. Here's the
I
thing:
have.
people don't seem to get. Here's the thing: I'm gonna let you speak. Bush lost the first unpopular vote with Al Gore.
Mhm.
He didn't lose the second one.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's true.
So,
So I had a
so
point I wanted to. I keep forgetting to bring it up. Okay, with polling. Okay, most of the polling's done online now. I don't know of any other way of being polled these days. I don't see people standing on the streets asking anymore. It's all online,
mhm,
and they've been the last two elections here. They've been really wrong, right?
mhm,
Um, and people are so confused. And I tried to explain to them that now that everything is online, they're done through things like Twitter or SurveyMonkey, which is the one I participate in, a SurveyMonkey, and a lot of uh, them are used SurveyMonkey data. You have to understand that a good percentage of those people who do that are people in their or late teens, in their 20s, and maybe some people in their early 30s. Now, that sounds great and all, but you have a huge range of age and voters that don't know how, or they don't really surf the internet like that. They don't look for stuff like that. They may read their news on a tablet or something, but there's still plenty of people out there who don't even have a smartphone. Okay, I mean, you can all think
mhm,
about your older relatives. They probably have a flip phone or no cell phone at all. Um, it's going to be probably 4 or 5 more presidential elections before that becomes reliable, in my opinion, because it's going to have to be people that are people are just going to have to die off. That's just it. The people that vote that don't participate in online surveys because they don't want to, or they don't care, or they don't like to, or don't know how to. Those people are going to have to really die off. That part of the voter population, which is replaced each year with as people age. People hit 18 every year, so I mean that's how it's always worked. I mean, people live, people die. So I really feel that it's going to be a couple more elections before any of those are even close to relevant. Because I
mhm.
don't. It turns out of everybody I know, I'm the only one who participated in a survey about presidents. Now, if you want to know a survey about cheeseburgers, who's the best celebrity, who's gonna be the best reality TV show, dancing. I got everybody's fucking seems to have done that, but nobody goes online to take a survey for presidency or any political thing. They hear political and they just close the window. They're like, no, don't want to do that. That's not fun. Ooh, Dancing with the Stars, which I don't understand how that's entertaining at all. They're not stars. They're leftovers. I saw it the other day. There's a fucking midget on it. Okay, they're scraping the barrel for weird people. But anyways, I always want I just the last two elections, including this, and this would be the third election, by the way. The polling was so far off. Remember, Obama was going to lose by a landslide, and it was the
Mhm.
complete opposite. No, it's just that party went out and got people to the Republicans wanted people to go out and take surveys or whatever, and maybe they had survey areas at the at their political stops. I don't know. I've never been to one. I didn't realize Clinton would be here until too late, and I almost saw Obama, but I wasn't enough room. So, I just don't know where else they're getting voter information else than online anymore, and I just, it's ridiculous. I mean, I don't really think they should be taking this information seriously anymore, and I think since most of it showed that Hillary was supposed to win, that might have actually been okay with Republicans because it caused Republicans people to go out and vote out of fear. Like, oh no, we're going to lose. Well, a couple of us should go out and vote. I mean, it doesn't make a big difference to a lot, but it might have gotten some people off their ass to vote. And the funny thing about that is that relates to a comedy movie about election with Chris Rock. I can't remember the name of the movie, but they were using.
I know the movie.
Yeah, Head of State. That was a funny movie. And they used that tactic in like California or something. They said that a black man was going to be running the White House. By the way, this was way before Obama, which was just made it more entertaining. But they used that fear that he was going to win to get all these. And of course, in this movie, it's a race thing. All the white suburban people that get out of their house running and screaming into the street to go vote. And that's an exaggeration of what really they do. So I don't know how you feel about that. What do you think?
Well, I feel like this. As I said, I don't want to sit there and I'm like the Young Turks who did. I think they did a horrible job in terms of responding to the results, because I know they're a liberal station. I respect the hell out of them, but I think they dropped the ball on this. Mm-hmm. I don't care who you voted for, what your purpose is, as long as you vote. What I do care is live what you voted for. If you voted for this reason, know that you voted for this reason and no one else. All right? Don't sit there and say, because it drives me nuts, this is what I didn't vote for. Yes, you did, because the guy basically told you in his own words, this is what I'm going to do. This is why I'm voting for. So don't sit there and put your
very
own money.
Blunt. The man was very blunt about what he was doing. He didn't swerve at all. No, fuck. I mean, I will give him that. He was vocal and he said what he thought. I just didn't want to know.
Here's the thing. And that's the whole thing. And here's the thing. I spoke to a guy who always go to the store, buy his coffee and everything else. He said, look, I like Trump. He's Puerto Rican. He's Dominican. He said, I like Trump because he tells it like it is. I said, but sometimes that's not always a good thing.
Yeah.
Especially when dealing with foreign policies. So,
exactly. That is the problem. Where now we have an issue where a lot of our of the foreign people that we need to deal with, they don't want him to even land in their country, which is something that is technically a threat. That is a thin, veiled threat there, but if a country says they don't want you to land in their country, that means they might want to blow you out of the sky if you try to come in their airspace. So, but a lot of them don't want to talk to him. I mean, even the British don't want to deal with him. They're going to have to. Everybody's going to have to. But it's going to make it a lot harder.
I think in reality is that, again, I'm going to sit here and be straightforward. I'm going to say, look, I don't know what we're going to get. All right, he may do a 180 because everybody says, he's gonna shrink the government. Yeah, it's all nice and dandy until you have that power and you realize it's not that simple as it looks.
Exactly.
So we don't know. I just gave an article. I hope you've seen it.
I didn't read it. Sorry, I was listening to us talking so much. But I know what you're talking about though. In this, I did see something briefly on Facebook about this last night, and I was out with friends, so I didn't want to look at it. I just saw people burning the American flag and
kind of fear that is being invoked. And I'm gonna say this, guys. Listen, don't go nuts here, okay?
Yeah.
All right. You wanna. This is the thing. If you wanna do something, be alert of what your politicians are doing. Be alert of what the laws will be done, and let your representatives, your senators, everyone know we don't agree with this, we don't approve
Right.
of this, and you make yourself be vocal. Whether you
Hmm.
know it or not, whether you don't believe it or not, they do hear you because they're scared of them that voice leading to them being voted out. All right,
Exactly.
be educated. Know who your representative. I know who represents me. I've looked it up in my online to make sure those I don't know to make my business know. I know there's a large majority of Democrats that are in the House of Representatives. There's also a large majority of Republicans in the House of Representatives. I know who just won my district. We have a first Dominican representative that's going to go represent New York. Chuck Schumer
Nice.
is going to be
Hmm.
going to is going to be reelected. I voted for him despite my feelings towards what he had done in some of the cases. But I feel overall, I know he gets the job done. I know he's a guy who is very very passionate and will not sit on his rear end while while things are going chaotic. So I vote for a guy who I know he's going to do the job right. All right. But
Exactly.
I noticed here, I didn't vote on him just based on that. I wanted to see what the other guy does, and the other guy didn't seem like he was interested in the job. He was just there just for the title.
Yeah.
Know who you represent at all, but most importantly, know the bills that are being thrown out there. See, this is the thing about things. We know who the president is, the governor is, the mayors, but for some reason we don't know who our congressman is. And these are the guys who
Yeah.
make the rules.
They're the ones
These are the
that
guys who in the
yeah,
White House.
they're a bit more important a lot of times than that. This is a good example. Okay, right here. So I'm having trouble with disability, getting it renewed, right?
Hmm.
Now, who do you think you would write to in your state that has the most power to do something about that? It's the
Go ahead, tell
congressman.
me.
It's
Hmm.
the congressman. If I were to go to our congressman and tell him that, and I know people that have done this, and you can meet with your congressman. You can have phone conversations. You can meet in person if you want to drive all the way over there, depending on where you are, obviously. Um,
Hmm.
it's going to vary state to state, but it's about a 30-minute drive from here. And you can have an appointment to meet with him for a little while and tell him what's going on. And multiple people have had our congressmen say that the congressman contacted the disability people or social security people that were denying their claim or challenging it. And then the next day, after his office contacted them, they were like, "We're sorry. We're going to go ahead and renew everything. There won't be a problem anymore." They have more pull than your fucking governor does.
Yes.
He really doesn't have that much power outside of your state. And even in your state, he's really still, you know, powerless to congressmen. Congressmen are what get things done. As long
Yes.
as
I mean,
they
again,
do
it's a
something.
very important note. It's a very important note. Is you may you we this is why it's so important to not just pay attention to who's in the White House, not just pay attention to who's mayor, governor, but pay
Hmm.
attention to the senators and representatives. They're there for a reason. Just to sit
Exactly.
down there. They're there to do their job. We have to force them to do their job. All right?
Yeah.
All right?
Exactly.
And especially if you're a voter, which is something that people don't realize, if you're a voter, they're going to listen. Because what's
Yeah.
the first thing they say? The voters wanted me to do this. Okay, so you
Exactly.
need to understand that this is part of this is who you should be really gunning for instead of going out in the street. Because here's the thing: I respect people's protests, but that's only a small fraction. You need
Yeah.
to put a fire in your congressman eyes and let them know, yeah, we're no wow these people really want let's do this. Doesn't matter if they're Democrats, doesn't matter Republicans, if you put that much fear in saying, "No, this is wrong. What you're doing is wrong. You need to change this." Guess what? They're gonna look at that and say, "Oh, okay, they're serious. This is a large voting count. They represent my county. I got to get on my ass and do something now."
Yeah.
Too many people
You know,
don't do that, and then they wonder why they say, "Well, you know, they voted me back in. They didn't say anything. They didn't complain about it, so I guess they're all right with it."
and with these protests, um, you know, I, I have, I know there's all kinds of different protests going on in different states. Let me say something that pisses me off about some of these. Okay, like colleges like Berkeley and Caltech and all these ones that they have these big walkouts, right? That's the wrong. Okay, it's okay. You did it one day. Okay, statement made. But all week they have walked out. They haven't been there, and now the colleges are giving them trauma support. Like a counseling because Hillary lost and Trump won. They're not going to have midterms. They're not going to. They're going to give them discounts on their grades because they're so traumatically stressed by this.
And who fault is that?
Do you really think every single one of those fucking students voted? Really, that walked out? No, a couple of them walked out, and the other ones are like, "Oh, we're getting time off. All right, let's go out, let's party. Let's go out and cause chaos." Because they didn't all. It was not all peaceful. They went out and they destroyed things. They disrupted traffic. Which doesn't sound like a big thing, but in California, that's a big thing. In New York, that would be a big thing. Orlando, it would be a big thing here, or Jacksonville, Definitely on the area I live on, there's only 2 main roads. You block one of those, and you're going to piss a lot of people off. But you're squandering your education. A good portion of you are there on tax dollar money. The rest of you are on your parents' really, really, really hard-earned money to go there. You want to make a difference, go to school. Get the jobs. Get into politics if you feel. Do something. Don't just give us a shit that you're out marching, whatever. You are out there just... Not all of them. I understand a lot of them are really protesting. But a lot of them walked out and went home and turned on the Xbox or turned on the PlayStation or spiked up the bong, hit the beer, and then when things started getting really fucked up, they went out and they caused chaos as well, right? That's how riots work. Some of them are upset. The other ones are just there to wreak havoc for fun. Oh, we can get away with this because the cops can't do anything. We outnumber them quite a bit. So, but with the burning of the flag, you should never burn a flag. Why the fuck would you burn a flag? That's just disrespectful to anybody who's died for that flag. You know what I mean?
Again, like I said, there's certain things I can accept. One thing I say like this: no, the sacrifices that our brave men and women have done to get the freedoms that we have for you burning that flag. And thirdly, I'm gonna say this: getting mad, getting all upset on this, ain't gonna change the fact that he is now our president. Come to 2017,
our president has accepted it. Our current president has accepted it. Everybody else has to.
And here's the thing: is again, you want to show something, be active in terms of politics, even if you're not, that deep in politics. But be active, know what's going on, know the law that's going to happen. Know who you represent on, and just get involved. This is the thing that bothers me, especially among my people here, and I'll say it because they complain, they get mad, they protest, but when it comes time to voting, when it comes time to actually getting politically involved, they don't want to get involved. You can't change nothing if you don't get involved.
It's too little, too late. What do they think that's going to happen now? That they're going to say, let's all revote. No, even if everybody revoted, it's probably still going to come out the same. And then it would just be challenges. But obviously, you can't revote. That's it. You get the one chance to do it, and if you didn't vote, then I'm sorry. But this article I see, it's kind of an unusual, a little more of a different protest there in this one, where they're not just. They're people of all kinds of. Just pretty much, this is a group of people of everybody Trump offended one by one. I'm just looking at a small list here. It's a rally focused on people of color, women, and folks with disabilities, all groups Trump offended during his campaign. People representing themselves as lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender carried signs protesting Trump too. Let's see here. They started here. They ended there. They marched all the way to their capital. Adrian Romero, I don't know who that is. I should have read up a little bit higher. Spoke during the hour of speeches and identified as a queer immigrant. Said Trump has harassed, abused, and taken from us. The crowd strained to fit on the sidewalk during the talk. So I don't really know how many people were in this. It seems like a sizable group that it worried law enforcement quite a bit. But this is just a group of people, of everybody he's pissed off during his election, all coming together. This would be a group that I would give more credit to, because each one of them is identifying what they are and why they're pissed off. You know, it's not just a general, "Oh, I'm not happy," you know. But I just don't. But like you said, I don't think people realize that it's too little, too late. I don't know. I just don't know what else that they can do about it. I mean, keep in mind that, by the way, this is very interesting. Trump went to the White House day before yesterday. And it was the first time, by the way, that Trump and Obama have ever actually met. They've been in the same room together. You know, there was that time, the closest they ever got was when they, I guess, Obama kind of roasted Trump a little bit at one of, the yearly dinners at the White House. But this was the first time they sat down, and they were only supposed to sit down for 15 minutes. It ended up lasting for hours. And pretty much, and Trump stayed very attentive, they said, during it. He was filled in on stuff that he never knew about, and he had to compliment Obama afterwards, and he says that he's going to need Obama's help a lot after he leaves. He doesn't, things that he doesn't understand still, or more details about the situations that a president has to deal with. I think it almost seemed like his face was very different than I've seen Trump up until that moment. After when they took their photo,
he realized,
this sucks.
he realized, oh my God, I'm the head of state.
Yeah, this is my
time
fault.
For reality TV is over. Yeah, everything's gonna fall on him.
Yeah, there's no tweet time. Actually, he's not going to be able to use his phone to tweet anymore because I don't know if you've ever heard Obama talk about his phone. It has no camera.
It's a government-issued phone.
It is a really, really locked down one. It is an Android-type phone. It's got no texting, no
You can text
apps.
on it.
What's that?
But he can't. But he can text on it. But
he can use a messenger.
Extremely limited.
Yeah, it's a messenger-type texting. It's not like the texting we use. You can probably text people outside of it, but it's got to go through. But
I put it this way. It's the phone. I put it this way. It's the phone that Hillary Clinton should have had.
Yeah.
It's the phone that she had.
It's the phone that Trump's campaign managers wish he had. So, because did you know they took his phone away over the weekend? They actually took his phone away. I thought that was hilarious. I mean, they didn't want him to say something stupid. That's why. Exactly. That's why he didn't have any firestorms over the weekend, is because he didn't have control of his damn phone. So, and that's all it took. And he's not going to have access to it, when he's president. And that probably will piss him off for a while. And I don't know what he's going to do, because he's used to this attention. Do you think he's going to calm down and take it easily, or is he going to find some other way of doing it?
I think he's going to calm. I think he has not much choice. He can't be on it. If he's texting more than he's in the office, then there's a huge problem.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: I think people need to realize something, and I really want you to look at this because it's very, very telling. It's a long series, but it goes all the way from, I believe, Bush Jr. But it's a very good series of presidents. Did you hear the thing about this? If people don't realize, we have, what is this, 40, he's a 47 or 48?
I think 48.
48. There's only 1/3 of the presidents actually liked their job after leaving.
Yeah.
Almost every person who took that presidency hated it to the point where they didn't even want the name of the presidency in their gravestone. Thomas Jefferson was one of them. George Washington was happy he left the White House.
Oh,
People
yeah.
don't realize he was. And here's the thing about this, a little tidbit. George Washington came very close to becoming king of the United States.
Yes, but he turned it down. He said there should be term limits.
Yes.
Or what would be the point of what we just did?
Yeah, that's why he said, you know what? I'm stepping down after 2 terms. You guys are nuts. I don't need that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he really set the tone. Now, keep in mind, they didn't officially make term limits. They didn't put a cap on how many terms they had for presidency until Roosevelt won for unprecedented 4th time in a row.
Yeah.
And that's when they said, yeah, we can't have you. We can't be a dictator here. We got to put a term limit. He didn't even survive his last term. But a good portion of presidents who came in, a lot of them did not like it. A lot of them going to hate the president. There's only very few. Like Quincy Adams and John Adams, those two, they wanted to keep their president job, and it was very bitter when they left. But there's a whole lot of them that just like, wow, I'm losing my hair. I'm getting migraines. The hell with this job. I'm kind of glad I'm going.
If you look at the history of how many ran for re-election, there's a lot that did not run for re-election. Some of them did. I'm sure they didn't want to, but they probably felt that it was. Yeah. I mean, because some of them felt they had to run for re-election to finish what they started, to try to secure what they were doing in the first place. But. Especially they might have thought whoever was coming in was pretty dangerous. So, but if you look at a lot of the presidents, even if they just go for 4 years, you look at their hair before and after. Like, look Obama. I mean, there's a picture of Obama on my screen right now, and an ad at the top. His hair is white. He has very little anything that's not gray. I mean, and it went gray pretty quick. And he's not that old of a gentleman, The job is stressful, and I really think that the look on Trump's face during their photo together really says it. It was sinking in that, I'm not going to be really in control of anything. The president is really just behind the steering wheel of a car that's going off a cliff. And there's 10,000 screaming people throwing rocks at him on the way down.
And he's going to find out the hard way, and this is why people got to realize, yes, he has the Senate and the House of Representatives that he can easily get things passed. Yeah, but you know what? He's going to still have a dogfight in his hands, and he needs to understand that, hey, just saying all those nice, great things don't really mean much when the scale of things, when you have to implement that to power. You're going to find out that, just like I said before, and I keep saying it again and again and again, he's still a minority within a vast of minorities. And those minorities that's going to be under him will not agree on everything, including members of his own party. Keep in mind, he did piss off a lot of people in the Republican Party.
I was about to say something about that. I know you got to understand, his party, let's use that term a little loosely here, his party does control things like Congress and all that, right? But in the past, that would be a great thing. That means, this is going to be a lot easier for me. Except for the fact that he didn't burn bridges, he fucking bombed the fuck out of them. There's nothing left of them. You couldn't tell there was anything else there but a asteroid hit the planet. He's not going to get the votes in Congress where everybody's just going to vote with him. He's going to actually find out that he pissed people off, he fucked up his own party, and now a lot of them just don't fucking like each other. And they're going to vote with the Democrats just to go, you know what, they're not that bad. And
the thing is, there is 2 different types, and actually 3 if you want to count it. There's the Tea Party Republicans, there's the moderate Republicans, and then there's the conservatives. Do you honestly believe all of them see their things in the same page? There's a reason why they said that the Republican Party is divided. You may not want to admit it, but they are divided. Okay?
It is more divided, especially now. I mean, I don't. It's unbelievable that he actually got that all the way here. I don't know how he got this far. I
Because
mean,
number one, nobody else was qualified in this party. And
I
let's
don't,
keep it real.
and I don't think he's
There's too
qualified
many.
either.
But you know
So,
what? Here's the thing, though. When you scream and shout and yell and get the media to cover every last thing you do, that's
hmm
all you need.
it's
All right.
true.
I did not want. That's the whole point. I mean, there is not really like Ted Cruz. Okay, he might have had a good legitimate shot, but you know what?
Yeah,
There's a lot of things about Ted Cruz. His own daughter caught him in a lie. When your own daughter caught you in a lie on live TV, that's not a good sign.
that's funny. Which one was that? What did he do? I don't remember
He
that
was.
one.
I forgot who actually. I don't know if it was the Young Turks or the majority report, but there was a he was in an interview of I forgot what talk show, and he was saying
hmm
something what the kids was doing, and the daughter said that did not happen. He had to go back and say, yeah, it did not happen. So he just basically lied about something. If you lie about something that's simple, what makes you think you're going to be honest when you come to the White House? Come on.
Wow, that's cold. I remember there was one time where he was supposed to go kiss his daughter. You know, it was like at a stop, a
Hmm.
rally stop, and he's holding his daughter, and he goes to kiss her, or whatever, and she is just denied. She's just pulling away, and she doesn't want anything to do with her daddy kissing her on TV. And I thought that was hilarious. And of course, the media ran with that one. That was embarrassing as hell. But that was a rare
And
one.
so to me, this really is. So Trump basically won. Trump was loud, and he made it be like I'm in your face kind of thing, and he won
hmm
because number one, that was he didn't spend any money in this campaign.
No, he didn't have to.
Not much.
Controversy will get headlines.
Never.
You know, I mean, he didn't have to pay anybody to cover him. People were going to cover him because you know, it's dirty, it's foul, it's messed up. I mean, he would say I mean, pretty much he had to probably get a political how-to book and then just did everything in reverse. I mean,
Hmm.
he insulted, oh God, the debates on the preliminary, you know, when with him and Cruz and Rubio, okay, little Rubio, you know, and little hands this, and I mean, Jesus, it was like watching a bunch of fifth graders pick on each other, you know? It was just so embarrassing, and that gets headlines.
And he won
And
that, and he won the headline
yeah,
wars, and eventually it helped him win the election. Am I agree with the
yeah,
situation? No, but you know what? Hey, it worked.
that's the
You
way it
can't
is.
deny it.
That's
Now,
the system that we believe in, and that's the system we have to trust in. And
and but I'm saying here like this. Look, I'm gonna see. I didn't see a lot of videos on how many people responding yet. I saw Willard DeFranco's video just recently before coming on the air. He was very
mhm,
humble about it. He doesn't know what it means. It just means he's elected president. It just
yeah,
means that now it's put up or shut up time. Because here's the thing about it: when people could be worried, don't worry. Because guess what? All the stuff he's saying he's gonna do, now we can just sit there and say, okay, guy, you say you want
yeah,
to fix get rid of Obamacare and put with something else. Be my guest. Let me
yeah,
see what you're gonna do. You want to say you're gonna bring millions of jobs here? You're gonna be the job working president. Now you have your chance. Let me see what
hmm
jobs you're gonna develop. Because here's the thing: if he doesn't do at least one of the things, that, especially with terms of job growth, he don't do one of the things, then basically everybody's gonna say this guy. What is he doing?
yeah. And a lot of people figure that it would take 3 or 4 terms to pull off at least 3/4 of what he wants to do, or before any of them will have an effect. And the thing is that yeah, he could kill Obamacare. He could cut off food stamps right off the bat, things that he wants to do, right? And yes, all of a sudden money will stop flowing into them for a moment. But then you're going to get people suing you, first of all. You took away my health care, instant, all of a sudden. You took away my ability to feed my children. Because, yes, both those systems are, I mean, okay, Obamacare needs to be improved. It is new. Uh, Food stamps, we know people abuse it. I know people abuse it. Uh, it just needs to be improved. If you were to put money into, not into accounts, but I'm saying into the people that work that agency, to the fact that they didn't come to work every day hating their life, they'd probably do a better job at it. They'd probably come up with better ideas on how to fix the system, how to root out people that are just fucking mooching off of it, you know? We really don't put that much money into the employees. We put more money into the food stamps themselves. Um, but if you just cut them off, yes, you may make the flow of money stop, but you pissed off a lot of fucking people and caused a
He's
lot
not
of
gonna.
poverty. You know,
Like I said, he wants to do a lot of stuff here, but I guarantee you, if he gets 3 things done in his first
mhm.
2 years, I'll be amazingly welcomely surprised. But
Yeah,
here's the thing he needs to understand is he can't. The other thing is he's gonna go with philosophy that cutting things is gonna help balance the budget. No, it's not.
mhm. Yeah, it's
And
not.
you're gonna
No.
and it's gonna be a harsh reality because all you're doing is gonna be like Kansas. And I say Kansas because they have a huge problem in their hands right now. They did a lot of cuts. They did a lot of they made lower taxes. You know what? No money's coming in to help govern your
Mhm.
state.
Yep.
And
If you
the,
cut,
the perfect
if you
and the
cut
perfect example.
something, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
And it's a perfect example of this. New Jersey, Chris Christie did a lot of lowering taxes, right?
Hmm.
Guess what? Guess what has going to happen? They have to find a way to make money some way. So guess what? They
Exactly.
raised the gas tax. You know why they raised the gas tax? They got to fix the roads, the infrastructure.
Yeah.
There's no money in the infrastructure.
Yep. I
Just
did.
when you're cutting taxes, but they're going to add taxes more that we're going to end up paying in the long run, like New York. That we know
Mhm.
in next year we're going to have a 5-cent tax on each plastic we use, um, to cut down on recycling. When in reality, it's a tax because number one, they have no enough revenue to run the city.
Yeah.
There's a huge debate about that.
And we only
Mm-hmm.
recycle like 15% of what we use anyway. So,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to point out that, you know, he wants to cut a few programs. That's fine. It will kind of stop the money flow. But the problem is that you're going to cause a whole bunch of other areas that are going to get overloaded, where people are try to get money from. But also in government, when you cut money from somewhere, somebody else holds their hand down. They want it, and they're going to fight to try to get the money. You know, there's not that much money in our government because it's spread out so far. I mean, further than any of us can imagine. Probably further than the president even really knows. You know, or wants to know. You know, so he could cut welfare type things. He can cut Social Security. He can't not end Social Security. That will never fly. It's just too hard. You know, too hard. Disability as well. I'm on disability.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it is a hard thing to get. I do not believe a lot of immigrants are abusing Social Security and disability as much as he says. I just don't see them putting in
How
the
can they?
time. You know, it's such a hard process to go through, and it's expensive. By the way, you have to see a lot of freaking doctors, and I just don't see them spending that kind of money. And really to get it, if you're under 35 and you want to get either one, you have to hire a lawyer. And even if
Mm.
you're missing a limb, they're not going to give it to you. It's unbelievable. Um, it's a system that needs to be fixed as well. Replaced? I don't think so, because that means we're all going to have to instantly reapply for something else and fight for 5 years, and that might make him look good because for 5 years there was no checks going out, but it's not a good way, you know. And it just looked like a fuck up, anyways. So there's no way that you can cut taxes and introduce all these huge plans that he has. There's just no way. Like you said, money has to come in from somewhere. There's going to be taxes somewhere. And not every state's going to go along with his plan. And he's going to have to fight that as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there might be some states that have more money in jobs and income, and they'll be all right. This is a good plan, but then you have states that just are miserable, and they're gonna fucking fight you like a motherfucker. So I just don't think he's gonna get more than one thing done, and I don't even know what one thing that's gonna be. I can't even think of one that he's gonna be successful at. He's gonna lose a lot of battles, and he's gonna look really tired. and that stamina comment that he kept making is not going to hold up. So,
yeah, trust me, he's gonna find that out. I mean, look, he's just figuring out the day. I mean, there's more to it than just being, just having a sit down job. I mean, when we had laid back presidents during the early 20th century, until
yeah,
Lee Roosevelt came along, and Roosevelt, I think was Roosevelt. There's a reason why his face is on Mount Rushmore. He was a man who got it. He was a Republican who knew he has to compromise. He has to know when to interfere, when not to interfere. He really set the standards for a lot of stuff that we see here. And I think even the person, why his name seemed to get on my radar, I don't know. I should get him. Johnson, I believe, the one who replaced Kennedy, who got before when he got assassinated.
oh, yeah, yeah,
He doesn't get enough credit for what he have done and set new
yeah,
bills and new stuff here. A lot of stuff people assume that Kennedy. No, it was his vice president who really set the path in motion and probably would have gotten a second term if it wasn't for the fact that the Vietnam War and the Battle of
yeah,
Congress just pretty much messed up any chance that he had because
yeah,
the war really did ravish, really mirrored what he accomplished. That he
yeah.
decided not to run.
Yeah, war is the root of most failed campaigns and re-elections. Um, the war doesn't help anybody, and definitely not soldiers. you know, um, yeah, that sucks. That's a
Yeah,
harsh one.
so
I I kind of like. I wish Biden had run. Still, I still wish Biden had run. I mean, I understand why he wouldn't want to run.
and
I'm pretty sure he's done.
honestly,
He ran
I
years
think
ago.
that what this,
Did you know he ran years
I think he
ago,
would
like
have
in the
found.
80s?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I follow his trail for a while. That's kind of curious why he didn't want to run. But after hearing what happened to one of his family members,
Yeah.
it was obvious why he didn't want to run. And honestly, we had presidents before where they lost loved ones. And it was never the same. It didn't turn out to be
Right.
good presidents. But like I
He
said,
lost quite a few
everybody.
people. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
surprised on
So
how many people he lost in his political career. Yeah.
yeah. So to me, I think he did the right decision.
Yeah.
But like I said before, this idea that he's going to do all this stuff, and look, if you believe he's going to do all this stuff, you obviously have no idea what the presidency is or what their role is, and I think that's the thing that needs to be known. You've got to know what the
Mhm.
president's role is and how it plays with uh, House of Representatives as
Mhm.
well as the Senate. You'd be surprised.
Yeah. This is going to be a really rocky presidency, just for the fact that it's going to be different from any other one. Because, like we said, he, yes, Republicans hold a lot of seats, but a lot of those seats are on fire. They don't care. They're not backing our president, and the only way you're going to get them to back him is if he resorts to old school politics, which is money. you know, money will make anybody get on your side in politics, almost anybody on your side in politics. But um, you know, I mean, he pissed on so many people, and people that you just don't piss on, and it got him
I
elected.
know
But let's see if it keeps him in office. So
that's gonna be interesting. I know I know you're pressed for time. I know you got to
yeah,
be going soon, so
yeah.
I'm gonna wrap
We've
up
got
with the
another
final
10 minutes
thought.
here. Yeah.
I'm gonna wrap the final thought here, and we'll be back with our usual stance of looking at articles and talking about some stuff because that was actually fun. But
Hmm.
again, this is still important to get on this situation.
Yeah.
Who do you feel? Do you feel that any of the guys who have worked with Trump are going to have any role in office, or do you feel he's going to pick? Or he's going to widely pick someone who's going to give him at least advice? Who do you think is going to be who do you think is going to be the good candidate for Secretary of State? And
Well, I think head of Secretary of State. I think he already said who he's going to pick is Giuliani. I think that's who he's going to pick, which is an interesting choice. And he's going to use the 9/11 thing, to his advantage during that. So,
I mean, none.
I,
But no, that was
yeah,
okay. But It
Yeah.
is his pick. So,
I mean, he's going to use that. I mean, he's going to use that fact that he was in office during 9/11, whatever, to help boast why he picked him. Oh, he went through all this hardship. But I think he's going to. I think Christie is screwed. I think Christie's just done. I don't think he ever intended to give Christie. Well, because he just kind of. Well, first of all, I think Christie to him is a joke. I mean, he's one of those people that ran against him, right?
mm-hmm.
Fiercely ran against him, and then bowed down and kissed his ass. I mean, we all remember him on stage. Remember that look on his face? That's the only. Whenever I hear, the only thing I know, but it's true though. I mean, really, it's true. I mean, he's not the only one. And every time I hear the name Christie, the only thing that pops in my mind instantly is him on stage when he endorsed Trump, that scared, like, what am I doing? Oh, this is happening. Oh, did I just crap my pants? Mommy changed my diaper kind of look, like I'm a hostage, help me. And he's got all this other shit going on, and I just don't think, he's not the only one that bent down and kissed his ass. Let's just recognize that. Almost everybody who ran against him bent down to kiss his ass, including the head of Congress, whatever. What's his name? Paul Ryan, whatever. He had to bend down and kiss his ass after talking shit about him for months, just fighting him, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh shit, he's gonna win. He waited a day to 24 hours or less to finally endorse him after he got the nomination, which was his little, I don't like you, but let me kiss your ass kind of move. But, I mean, really, everybody just bent over and let him put it right up their ass. But, I mean, do you disagree? I mean, do you think Christie's going to get any position there?
I honestly don't know. I really don't know what guy. He's worked it hard with him, so I think that counts for something. But I do want one thing though. Yeah, it is Trump. But here's the thing that I found here. If he don't get anything that I feel in office of any kind, he's going to be done regardless, because I don't think he's running for re-election for governor of New Jersey.
Oh, no, he would not win. He's not liked in his state anymore. I mean, right when he endorsed Trump, he got a lot of boos. But there's all the Bridgegate shit and all that going on, and there's tax problems, and there's so much anger in his state towards him. I just think he's done. I just think he's done for politics. I think this is the last year of Christie in any major politics. Maybe he'll become a lobbyist. I think that's the only other job you get, right? So, I mean, I think he's going to pick a bunch of random people, really. I don't think he's got a set list. I mean, they probably have a list they'd like him to pick from, but I don't think he's going to pick from all those lists. I think he already promised things to certain people, and that's how you get elected. That's how you get that position, is you make promises to people. Of course, you don't keep them all, but some of them you have to keep. So,
well, one thing I would say about this is that whoever he picked will be very interesting. It's going to really give us an idea of where we stand, where we going to move forward, because he needs to pick the right guy. He can't pick morons.
No, you cannot pick morons.
It's going to make him look worse.
Yeah. I mean, whoever he picks is going to give him face. So, he's going to try to run this country like a business. He's going to try to. I think he's realizing that don't work that way. But, he has to pick the right people for the right job. Now, here's a problem with that. He is semi-toxic. So people, when you go and work for a president, if it doesn't go your way and it doesn't work out, you are screwed. Nobody really wants to deal with you. You have this tarnished look, especially if you get fired or, kicked out, whatever. it never goes right. So if he puts you in a position and you suck at it, and maybe you don't suck at it, you suck at it not because of your fault, but because of all the other people as well's fault that have to work with you, including the president, it's going to ruin your career. And just like when he was looking for VPs, Trump looked for VPs. Remember, he said he was his first pick. We know it wasn't his first pick. Pence wasn't his first pick. That's funny. People just plain and said no. Like, no, not even honored. No, anybody else asked me, maybe, but no, you're playing a dangerous game, you know. So I don't know. It's going to be scary. I'm actually more scared about who he's picking than him being president now.
That's the thing people need to pay attention more than anything else, because we need to know where his mindset in terms of picking. Mm-hmm. I'll say this again. I'm gonna just be basically saying, look, I'm not mad. I know my uncle is. My uncle could not. My uncle, who is a huge, a huge liberal Democrat, he's upset. I never see. We normally like to talk about politics. He's upset. He can't even do it anymore. That's how mad he was. And I'm like,
I know a lot of people are mad. Yeah. I heard.
And
where I volunteer. I was gonna say, where I volunteer, I heard one of the parents were talking about one of their children got beat up at school because he liked Trump. Now, I'm talking about an elementary school kid. He doesn't know anything about this stuff. His parents voted for Trump or something, and he probably just said, okay, I like Trump, whatever. His parents could have said good things about him, whatever. He got beat up. And then I work with people with disabilities. A lot of people dumped one of the promisers because he voted for Trump. He hadn't mentioned anything about politics ever, and then after he voted, after Trump won, he says, "Yay, pro-Trump" or something, and a bunch of people unfriended him. Which I'm like, okay, it's fucking Facebook. Who gives a shit? If they can't handle who you voted for, who you had a right to vote for, then fuck them.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing again. This is why I think we got to stress this. It's nobody's business who you vote for.
Yeah, it's not.
This is a personal thing. Voting is personal. People get personal when it comes in, and they brag about, but nationality, it's nobody's business.
No.
If you voted for Trump, then that's fine. That's just you voted. Hey, I didn't vote for him. You voted for him. That's fine. Good. I hope you're happy. Yeah. By the way, I hope you're happy with what you got in return. I'm not gonna get mad at you. That's what you voted for. That's not. Who am I to get mad? I don't want nobody telling me who I should vote for. Well, I'm gonna get mad at who you vote for.
Exactly.
So that's nonsense. All right. And to me, I think that's one reason why I don't feel comfortable when people flaunt who they vote for. It's not because that's because I agree or disagree. Because there's a lot of people who take that personal, and they think that they're obligated to do stupid things like running over a sign or beating people up, including elementary school kids. Come on.
Exactly. Or people pulling guns on people. Remember we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. It's your country, but people are acting like this is a football team. And they're, what I'm talking about, and like they take it to that personal level, and I'm like, he didn't really win anything. It really, when it comes down to it, one president from another, once they get into office and they realize they don't have as much power as they thought, it almost doesn't matter sometimes who's in there. Everybody else, I mean, they're not a king. They can't do whatever they want. Everybody kind of wants the same ideas. Yes, some people have a few different ones, but in the end, it's going to be, what do we want? And, if they're going to care about approval ratings, whatever, then, then they're going to just be our little bitch.
Here's something I want. Have you seen the movie Lincoln? Great movie. You ever seen it? Lincoln. Have you seen that movie?
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
There's a scene there the scene that really describes politics.
Hmm.
It's when Lincoln invited the radicals in the White House, and he talked a private. He had a private conversation with Thaddeus Stevens. Now he's a
Hmm.
Republican representative, and he's talking about, yo, you need to, calm down, not, be over vocal, because he's considered extremist the way he approached things and how he approached things. He
Hmm.
sat down. It was a scene that actually it caught my attention. I have seen this 9 times because it really hit home.
Hmm.
And how the difference of people's opinions are. He said, no, when people can't come together, when people can't agree, let the people come together. And Stevens cut Lincoln off, which is one of the very things that Lincoln normally cuts people off. He cuts him off and said, I share my people. Excuse my language. You think I give
Hmm.
you think I care about what the people want and what they think they're entitled to? And he said, I don't care about what the people want. I'd work long and hard for the good of the people without actually being attached to them.
Yeah.
All right. He said they voted me to represent them, to lead, and so I lead. Now, it may sound cold the way he said it, but this is
Hmm.
how most politicians work from both Republicans and Democrats. All right.
Correct.
They're not really doing what you want. They're showing you their vision and hope that it matches what you
That's right.
what you do, and then they go and implement it. So as much as we want
Yeah.
to say like that, there's really no true attachment towards these politicians when it comes to that. All right, they're there to be leaders, and sometimes being a leader means making rules and laws that doesn't necessarily gel well with the masses, which almost
Exactly.
is everything.
And also, and you have to also keep in mind, they know more stuff that there's a lot of stuff we don't know in politics as citizens. Um, we don't know about classified or behind the scenes workings of our countries and things we're doing with other countries. Sometimes things happen and we don't know why they're happening until later on down the road. And sometimes we never know why they happen. We get angry for a little while and then we'll forget about it. We're kind of like toddlers, Oh, I want my binky. I want my binky. Ooh, a cookie. Politics anger a lot of people for no reason at all. I mean, it temporarily angers us, but we have a short attention span. We might think of it again later and get pissed off about it, but there's always going to be something new to piss us off. And with all the technology we have to keep us connected, um, there's just always going to be something that pisses us off. It wouldn't matter who was elected. Even if Bernie Sanders had been elected, who is the only guy, by the way, that when I talk to hardcore Republicans, when you bring up Bernie Sanders' name, like in the middle of like a heated argument about something, and I've just done this to see, like we'll be arguing about Trump and Hillary, whatever, back and forth, and I go, "What do you guys think about Bernie Sanders?" And they all go, "Oh, he's a nice guy." And it's just kind of funny. It's like, oh, it's the reset button. I like Bernie. I wish he had won. I'm like, had won, over Hillary. I'm like, that is so weird. So something about Bernie Sanders, it doesn't piss people off. I just don't think he's ever done anything terrible. That's why. I don't think they can literally think of anything terrible in his career that he's done that can really piss you off. You may not agree with all his politics, but man, he's just a nice guy. So, that's just a funny thing about
All
politics.
right.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting 4 years, and year one will be interested. Will be a total tell how this country's gonna work. But for the
Oh yeah.
most part, I'll leave with this, and we're gonna sign off. Guys, calm down.
Hmm.
The world ain't
Yeah.
ending. Nobody's gonna get deported. Especially if you're a citizen, you're not getting deported. All right.
Yeah.
You don't need to go to Canada, which by now, if you guys did what you did and crashed their website, you just found out that it's not as easy. You heard about that,
It is
right?
hard. Yeah. I've heard about that, but I have been telling people for a while, you cannot just go to Canada. They're not America. You have to be able to contribute for them to even allow you to come in for more than a couple hours. They're much more strict, and that's probably why they don't have as many problems as us. But they're not America, so they weren't founded on the same beliefs as us, so that's their system. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can't just go to Canada, guys. It's not going to happen. They don't want to see that. But that's the way it is. So Don't go to Canada. I doubt you'll run into Mexico unless you broke a crime.
And they'll bring you right back once they find out you did. So
exactly, they don't want you there either. You know, they're not really into corruption as much as you might think. There are some people there, but there's some people in our government the same way. So, but you know, just stay here, have a Coke and a smile.
Yeah, like I said, you really want to make a change, right? If you really want to prevent that kind of election from happening again, you really want to, get to your politicians, get involved in politics. I'm not saying get totally involved, but know what they're planning, know what legislation is being done, know what's happening locally, internationally, and just be on the loop. There's too many of us not in the loop, and we allow false information to overrun the factual information, and we need to start doing that. Protesting alone is not going to change anything. Getting involved with your politics, letting your politics know you exist, is.
And keeping up with your politics does not mean reading news articles. It means researching things. Go out and find out your own opinion on everything. There's a lot of opinions on everything. Go vote, voice your own. So, alrighty. Well, I think we covered a good amount for this week. We have plenty left over for another time.
And we should be back in our normal routine as always. It sounded good for you. The only reason why I'm doing Saturday because I can't do 2 podcasts at once. I think Johnson will kill me.
Yeah. I think Saturday is good so far. We got the holidays coming up, but I should be okay. So I think Saturday after Thanksgiving, I'll be traveling, but you don't
have to worry about it. I'm not on the air on Thanksgiving.
Okay, good.
I do have a life.
Yeah, good. Because we're going. We just made hotel reservations and blah.
Disney?
No. We go to see her. We do family with Jashikin's side on Thanksgiving, and Xmas on mine. No, not that family yet. The one on the other side of the state, Sarasota and Venice. So not a huge drive. It's like a 4 or 5 hour drive, depending on when I get up. But it's just
can you still drive?
It's a holiday, so yeah, I can drive. We have to make a lot of stops though. That's why it takes a lot longer. I have to stop and give my back a break, and because she doesn't drive. So, well, she's got a license, but God help us if she ever gets in a car.
Wait, hold on, back up. Look. She got a license and she don't use it.
Oh yeah, she shouldn't. She's got no depth perception. Yeah, I don't know how she got it. I've heard of stories.
How do you get a license?
It's Florida. Come on, anybody can get a license.
She told me she had a license though.
She does. She only used it 2 or 3 times. Yeah, and never alone. No.
Scared of driving? She's scared of driving?
Both. I'd say she is and we are. She's got no depth perception at all.
She goes fast?
I've never been in a car with her driving. I've only heard terror stories. She has really slow reaction time. Like, I can tell you that for sure. I could tell you, if you look left right now, you get $1 billion. She'll go, what? She just doesn't comprehend things. She doesn't understand traffic laws, and no depth perception means she just stops at random. So, and So, but
I'm like, if she got a license, I should be going down there myself.
Come get a license in Florida if you're blind. Come on. You got no legs, no arms. You don't,
Well, from what I understand,
come on down.
From what I understand, in your state, a blind man can get a gun, so that wouldn't surprise me.
That is true. Yeah, that is true.
That's kind of scary, though.
But my prediction is, if Jashkin's ever got in a car in Florida, okay, if she got in a car here, a car would explode in California for no random reason. They would just start crashing into each other. That's how much of a terrible driver I've heard she is. So I've only heard her driving in Orlando, like at 2 a.m, like driving somebody home from the hospital because they couldn't drive, when there's like no cars on the street, and before red light cameras. So,
Uh,
but yeah.
okay, we gotta be out. You got a dinner date to go to with
I
your family
am.
members and everybody else. So I know
Yeah.
you're hungry.
I am
Next week,
actually.
are you
Yeah.
still?
Next week, I
Next week,
don't
you're
see
gonna
any
be.
problem. I should be here available.
All right, so we'll
So,
be back to normal. I'll give you a day's notice, as always.
yeah.
And as always, guys, I hope you enjoy the show. This show will be officially be put back on Manic. I know I didn't put the couple ones on Manic Expression. There's actually a reason for it. I've actually been off the loop on the site for a while. Been dealing with still movement and trying to figure out how I'm going to adjust my new schedule because I'm actually going to be saving to get a new mic.
Ooh.
I'm actually I just found out where I can get a microphone that will adapt to my computer, but this is not a cheap microphone. These real microphones, these professional ones, cost money. They want $215 for that mic. So
Damn. I just use my
yeah,
Bluetooth
and that's not
headset
even
from my phone. I don't know
and
how
that's
good I sound, but
sounds perfectly fine. But I'm doing other stuff, and I can't use this microphone in fear of it being that fear I pick up some background noise. So this one I'm getting
right, yeah.
along with a filter, along with a stand. The stand alone costs $29.
Damn. I bought Aaron a
Real quick,
clip-on one. I bought Josh Kins a clip-on mic, like they use on the news.
But this microphone you need to put on a table, so this is not a clip-on one.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Well, good luck with that
this
one.
is actually yeah, but I need one. If I'm gonna do my story stuff, I need to get a much better mic. I gotta deal with that, and I deal with everything else that comes to play later on. Like I'm still trying to figure out how to get the audio library for the special effects. I don't know if you got to pay for any of those or not. I know there's some that's out there that's I got a train one, which is actually amazing for free. But
some of them, if you buy the CD-ROMs or download you purchase the one-time fee for a bunch of files or effects, it comes with the license for you to use them whenever you want for the rest of your life. So
you gotta give me that information. You gotta give me that information. I don't know.
I actually learned that from. I'll have to share it to you how I learned that last a day or two ago from a video game actually. But alrighty, well I'm gonna take off. You have a good night. Everybody have a good night.
All right, and as always, you guys take care, be safe, and we'll talk soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.